All right, let's talk briefly about the years before retirement and how I plan them, how I optimize them for, in this case, quality of life as I'm coming to you from Thailand. We're gonna take a quick look around the remote work setup, talk a little bit about prices, talk a little bit about strategy, and hopefully you get a ton of value from this video and it can help you in your planning as well. So let me just take and switch the camera around here. I'm gonna take a quick look. It's the remote work setup right there. Some fresh mango, some coffee from the 7-Eleven, and just a bit of a mess on the desk. Have your AC unit, big bed, some normal stuff, hotel room stuff, shower, toilet in there to the left. So quiet area also, in not a high rise but just normal house building. This one was 2400 baht, so 24,000 baht for 1 month. That's 630 euros. And included in that price, you have the service, the cleaning, the making up of the bed, taking out the trash, putting in some fresh water next to coffee can over there. So that type of service, and laundry as well. I just put out the basket and I put a few bath in it as tips, and the people take care of the laundry. So that's 630 euros a month right now in October. They recognized me, so they gave me a little bit cheaper price. This is the second month I'm staying here. I've been here not the last time, but the time before that. So quite a nice place. We're seeing some fresh mangoes bought from little girl selling some fruit here in Thailand, 200 baht. I know the price usually is 100 baht, but I didn't mind since people gotta make an income. It's rough out there, and that's 5 euros for a little more than a kilo of mango tasting amazingly. So that's what I can eat here right next to my setup. This and some coconut water prepared also. So where does this fit into retirement strategy? Well, one of the things that I found very hard once I reached $1 million and I technically was ready to retire, I could have my expenses covered in the West, but why settle for retiring in the West when I could live so much better, geomaxing in this case, in another location? The only problem is I didn't know where to go for the retirement part, because that's an experience as well. That's something you have to plan. You have to do the travel, you have to stay prolonged times at certain places to know if you like it, if you enjoy it or not. You can't just blindly pull the trigger. I mean, you can. I've done it a few times, like taking a job in Dublin without ever having been there. But in general, it's nice to have a plan in place. So what I'm doing, feel free to copy, it's right before the years of retirement now. I made sure to work extremely hard, gained a lot of trust at work, and then rather than lifting up pay increases and stuff like this with my manager, I have lifted up the possibility to do work from another location, such as Thailand in this case. Fits perfectly with the time zone. I just go down here, I do morning Muay Thai, I do the amazing lunch, some massage, enjoying the quality of life. And then at 2 o'clock Thai time, that's when the normal day-to-day activities start in Sweden, and I will start to conduct sales activities, cold outreach. fits perfectly. Unfortunately, South America is in the wrong time zone for me, but if you're watching this as an American, well, that's a whole nother story. Perhaps you could face and do the trial retirement in South America. Find a place you like. I can highly recommend Brazil. Absolutely loved it. But gonna visit Colombia also, see how that is. I'm sure many Americans love that place as well. But you can do these prolonged stays and plan out where you want to spend longer chunks of time. Where you, and not Instagram, not me, not some other YouTuber, but where you really enjoy the lifestyle and the quality of life. Thailand in my case, cheap accommodation, cheap Thai boxing, amazing food very cheaply, helps a lot with the weight loss. A lot of us, especially after 30, we put on a few extra office pounds, you know the story. Affects quality of life a lot, I would say. Makes you more tired, makes you stay home and rest all weekend, but hard cardio and some proper diet. Basically diet, meaning everything's not fried like it is in Dublin. That's enough to increase quality of life in this case and lose a lot of weight. But that's one example of a remote setup, but with a strategy behind it to do the trial runs on retirement. And I make this video because I want you to not only focus on the finish line, like I did, just $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, you know. Not even that in my case. I had a lower fire number of 900,000 Swedish krona is what I need to cover my expenses indefinitely. So this is, you know, you divide by roughly 10, so 900,000 American dollars. That's the number I would need to live comfortably forever. But just staring too much on that number and not also planning for the type of lifestyle that you want to have, it can set you back a little bit in the life plan, I would say. So I'm catching up on that now, doing all of this traveling, combining it with work. One strategy, wanted to share it. Try to do the same with your manager if you're an office worker. Try to have that conversation, try to push for it, you know, if you have a good relationship. If you're exceeding expectations, well, then that's a conversation that you can have. And shout out to Azul in this case, a YouTuber, retired financial advisor. I've been watching his videos for quite some time. He talks about retirement planning since, you know, he's been doing it for a living for a very, very long time. And I started to realize that a lot of the very common trappings and challenges that people face, you know, I also face when I do the planning. So I get a ton of help from that. And that's one of the things that inspired me to start taking longer trips, which I started doing 2 years ago now. I started doing longer trips like the one here. So longer trips, phase retirement, trial retirement. Feel free to incorporate this strategy, this knowledge in your day-to-day. That's been it for this video. And as always, hope you guys make a ton of money, whatever investments you decide to make. Take care now. Bye bye.